Welcome to World Business. I'm Guy Shone. Now, no industry is more hotly debated, more subject to transformation than the energy sector. The fast transitioning multi-trillion-dollar energy market has never been subject to more scrutiny, and yet our rapacious demand for electricity just keeps growing. So how do we square this awkward circle? Well, the International Energy Agency is one organisation working with companies and governments around the world to try to solve this incredibly difficult problem of getting tough on climate change while simultaneously responding to the ever-increasing need for energy. The IEA is based in Paris. It was set up in 1974 in response to the 1973 oil crisis, and it currently works with 31 member countries covering 75% of the entire world's energy demand. Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined now by the Executive Director of the International Energy Agency, Dr. Fatih Birol. Dr. Birol, thank you very much for joining us on World Business. Let's talk about nuclear power. Now, for many years, it was a difficult industry for leaders to overtly be enthusiastic about. You've said openly that you see nuclear as part of the solution to energy security. What is the right way then for us to think about nuclear?
Now, nuclear has been, since several decades, part of the energy mix globally. But after the Fukushima accident in Japan, 2011, we have seen that the appetite for nuclear a bit disappeared in the countries in Europe and in North America, of course in Asia as well. However, as IEA has rightly predicted 3 years ago, we see nuclear is making a comeback, a very strong comeback around the world. And we see this happening both in terms of new nuclear power plants, building the large-scale nuclear power plants, but also small modular reactors. There's a lot of interest in that. And the main driver is electricity security. We expect the renewables, natural gas, and the others contribute to the global electricity mix, but nuclear coming very strongly. And we see that this year, 2025, global nuclear electricity generation will be the highest in the history. And at the same time, when we look at the number of nuclear power plants being constructed as we speak now, is the highest in the last 3 decades. So we see a comeback of nuclear around the world, both in the emerging countries and in advanced economies, north but also south, in big terms.
Okay, Europe has some major problems at the moment. Stagnating economic growth, bureaucracy stifling competition, energy security concerns. What can the energy sector do to help?
I mean, EU is one of the largest economies of the world, the second largest economy after the United States, and also the king of trade in terms of the exporting the goods and the services. But now EU, after the Russia-Ukraine crisis, we see that with the Russian gas EU being cut, the energy prices in Europe went up substantially. Today, the natural gas prices in Europe, they are about 4 times higher than United States. And the electricity prices in Europe are almost 4 times higher than China, just to give you an example. And the trading region, EU, is very much affected when the industry gets the energy so expensive compared to their competitors, the US or China. They are in a disadvantaged situation. Therefore, if Europe wants to remain competitive in the global economy, Europe has to look how the existing industries in Europe, such as the iron, steel, petrochemicals, the automotive industries, are going to be supported. And at the same time, for tomorrow's industries, such as the batteries, such as the windmills, such as the electrolyzers, how Europe is going to come up with a plan. So in my view, Europe needs to come up with a new industrial roadmap in order to bridge the energy cost gap between Europe and their competitors.
How important are countries in this region, like Azerbaijan, when it comes to delivering confidence, reassurance about future energy security?
I think Azerbaijan played and plays an important role in terms of the Europe's energy security, especially gas security, because in the energy science or energy world, I have a magic word, I believe, which is diversification. You have to diversify your imports, which country you got the energy from. You have to diversify the route of the energy you got from, the companies you get from. If you concentrate your imports on one single country, which means if you put all the eggs in one basket, there may be risks or challenges. So as such, Azerbaijan played and plays an important role for European energy security through, first of all, Southern Gas Corridor. And I expect that there may be efforts in order to expand the gas coming from Azerbaijan to Europe. This is one area. And the second area is Azerbaijan has significant amount of renewable energy sources, including the wind power. So establishing a corridor or a Black Sea cable between Azerbaijan and Europe could help to export clean electricity to Europe. Because what we see is that even though the world will need oil and gas many years to come, we expect that the world is entering an age of electricity. People need a lot of electricity. Therefore, this project, the Black Sea Cable project, if it sees the light of the day, I think it will be good for the European energy security, but also, of course, good for Azerbaijan economy and energy sources.
Now, everybody at the World Economic Forum in Davos this year, and pretty much at every conference since, has been discussing AI. Moving beyond the hype, how can artificial intelligence then bring practical benefits to the energy sector?
We believe AI will affect the energy sector substantially in two ways. One, for AI, for artificial intelligence and the data centers that are the heart of the artificial intelligence, they need electricity to run. So there is no AI without electricity. They need electricity 24/7. So therefore, AI is first of all a driver for electricity consumption globally. In addition to the established electricity consumption drivers, such as the industrial sector, households, such as the electric cars, now AI appears to be a new item to the list as a driver of electricity consumption. This is the first way that AI will affect the energy sector. The second category of affecting the energy sector of AI is through artificial intelligence. We can use the energy much more efficiently and in a much more productive way. We will be able to, in terms of our electricity systems, we will be able to connect, for example, electric cars and the renewable energy sources and our grids in a way that we optimize. We don't have major blackouts, and we generate the electricity in the most cost-effective way. Or AI will play a very important role in terms of the having the batteries, new battery solutions for the electric cars and others. So it is going to open a completely new chapter, innovate the energy supply, energy production, electricity production, but at the same time, it is going to eat a lot of energy, the AI data centers.
Dr. Birol, many thanks indeed for joining us from Paris. Now, every week, the world's biggest companies release results and updates on their performance. Katy Wilson has been dissecting some of the most interesting business results.
Guy, Commerzbank, one of Germany's oldest financial institutions, has posted a 20% increase in net profit for 2024. Now, the company were due to be announcing earnings next week, but they released these numbers ahead of schedule in order to fight off takeover interest from Italy's UniCredit, a company that already owns a sizable stake in Commerzbank. Net profit rose to 2.78 billion during last year, beating the expectations of most analysts. The Commerzbank board said this profit was record-breaking and announced a share buyback scheme and a dividend of 65 cents per share. CEO Bettina Orlopp said by consistently managing costs and focusing on growth initiatives, we were able to significantly increase the net result for the past financial year. Industrial robotics maker Rockwell Automation is due to announce its results for the first quarter of 2025. The Milwaukee-based international industrial tech giant recently released its 2024 sustainability report, which highlights the company's commitment to sustainable production practices. Rockwell chairman and CEO Blake Moret said that they are able to make customers more sustainable through advanced cybersecurity, mobile robots, and power control technology that reduces emission and captures carbon. And insurance giant AIG is preparing to release its performance data for Q4 2024. The American multinational that employs over 25,000 people in 80 countries recently embarked on a major rethink of the company's organizational structure. CEO Peter Savino said his focus is on simplifying things, enhancing efficiency, and getting more value for shareholders. To do that, he has reorganized the group into 3 distinct segments: North America commercial insurance, international commercial insurance, and global personal insurance. Mr. Zaffino has also promoted the experienced executive John Hancock to oversee a much bigger part of the business. The board will be hoping these changes are positively reflected in the financial results later in 2025.
Thanks, Katy. Well, that is all we have time for on World Business for this week. Stay up to date with the latest business news on the AnewZ website, the app, and across all our social channels. We'll be back next week for more World Business.